Everything's going. It says the stream is in excellent condition. Let's hit the go live button. And it says it's going live right now. So welcome guys to another episode of Box Mining here. So it's a special episode. It's going to be the normal content. So we're going to talk about crypto. We're going to chat. But today I'm here with my friend John at a very special location. Say hi, John.
Hi. Thanks for having me on your show.
Nice. So why I'm here is because, so it's out of convenience and also because two reasons, right? So the first reason, I'll just get it out of the way, is because I also have a meeting here at around 12. So I thought, since I'm already going to be here, I might as well stream here. And the second reason is to meet John. I'm sorry, John. You're like reason number two. But also, right here is a Bitcoin center here in Hong Kong. So this is Genesis block in Hong Kong. So they do all this OTC, they all do trades, they do everything. They also have a bar. This bar is actually working, so we will be getting a drink afterwards. You can just basically people just come here and grab drinks.
Yeah, I mean, they're more than welcome. They're free.
So if you guys are in Hong Kong, check it out. Today what we're going to cover is we're going to cover everything on the news. I hope the audio is working out fine with you guys and everything is good. I really want to say, John, thanks for having everyone help me set up this place. It's been crazy. It looks like I actually stream from here all the time because it's actually looks good. So I hope the audio is working well for you guys. I hope it's weird. I mean, we have this little tiny mic, so this is I guess Rode, but I hope it sounds great for you guys. And if you guys are here, smash up the like button. We'll talk about the whole run up to yesterday and everything. So that'll be fun. Yeah. That'll be fun. So, John, let's take a look at the markets. We'll do this together. Why not? I thought, we're here already. So we'll take a look at the markets together. Hopefully, let's see. I'll just swing that by, and I will switch this to Brave right now. Let's see if Brave actually works. Nope, does not. So Brave browser. I cannot actually wait. Where is Brave browser? Cancel. Nope, I don't want. That's not Brave. Doc. Nope. That's just a window. All right, let me restart my Brave browser. Sorry guys, apologies for that. So we're just trying to get everything ready. Brave, CoinGecko. That's beautiful. And if you guys have any problems with the audio or something, just tell me ahead of time. I'm trying to figure this out. So OBS is here, and we have Brave. Cancel. All right, there we go. There we go. Here we go. All right. So we have a field of green.
Yeah.
Looks pretty good. We have Bitcoin almost, okay, on here it's almost touching, but I'm sure on some exchanges it's past 13,000 still. So we're still on that crazy push up. We're also on over here, Ethereum is past 400 as well. So yet again, it's been a pretty fun few days. So are you in, John? Are you what's your experience like?
You mean so far or
so far,
right now?
So far.
So I mean, I heard about Bitcoin back in 2011. That was kind of my first exposure, but I didn't really touch on anything till 2017 when I tried to do an ICO. I mean, that crashed and burned like most of them, right? But yeah, I mean, the past 10 months, year working at Genesis Block has been kind of eye-opening, kind of digging into the details as far as how all this stuff works. I mean, obviously, Genesis Block is involved with a lot of kind of DeFi projects like Serum. However, I think right now primary markets is where it's at, right? I mean, Bitcoin, Ethereum.
Bitcoin, Ethereum, primary markets, baby. So are you exposed right now? Are you exposed to Bitcoin? Are you exposed to Ethereum? Are you in? Are you overexposed with altcoins?
I mean, I got out of altcoins recently, and I basically went pretty bullish on Bitcoin. Got some Ethereum as well, but it seems like after there was a lot of talk of Bitcoin reaching all-time high before the end of the year. I mean, it still might be possible, right?
It still might be possible. It's definitely. I feel like we have a lot of time. We have a lot of tension, right? So there's definitely a case where, people have been waiting. People have been waiting a long time for this to happen, and all of a sudden, I think I was just rereading the PayPal news. So on the way here today, I was on taxi. Luckily, I can afford a taxi. But anyways, on taxi here, I was like, yo, okay, so let look at the details for the PayPal integration. So it seems like they're both allowing people to pay with crypto on PayPal and able to buy crypto on PayPal. That seems to be like the thing, right? The announcement.
So, I mean, are there going to be another Coinbase then, do you think? Or are they going to be kind of more something, a new animal completely?
I think there'll be a new animal, and I think there's also a rumor of them starting their own cryptocurrency too, right? So these are in conjunction, right? So I feel like the reason why Bitcoin moved up so drastically was because PayPal is taking a very serious stab at this whole crypto challenge, right? I think this is a lot to do with it. And there's two things, right? So one, we see evidence that they're doing something. And now because of the evidence that they're doing something, now people are speculating, is PayPal going to create their own coin? Because they just left recently the whole Facebook Libra association. Well, not recently, about around a year ago. They left, or are they going to make their own association? That could be pretty interesting. So I feel there's a lot of tension there. And you also see on the other side, the institution side, where there's just stacking, right? We see every big fund, they're just like blatantly telling us, yo, guess what, guys? We're buying Bitcoin. So I feel like that's a situation where, there's a lot of tension here. So finally, Bitcoin has its moment in the sun. And we've seen these like rallies before. There's sometimes when Bitcoin's a little bit selfish, when it just rallies itself. But this time Bitcoin's a little bit generous too. It's like it's giving a lot of the whole climate some love. So I'm pretty happy for that. I mean, I'm not yet again. I kind of rebalanced everything yesterday. So let me just switch back to Brave again because you guys see this. So you see a lot, in the past 24 hours. You definitely see a lot of kind of movement, even ample fourths up there. That's usually a good sign. We got Chainlink up there, VeChain, Ava. We got pretty much like a lot of green today and very little red. The only one that's red is Filecoin, but that's kind of expected. We'll cover that in a sec as well. But in generally speaking, we're seeing a lot of green. It's like it's like spring almost, right? So. Yeah, Bitcoin's not selfish this time, but we definitely seen some insane Bitcoin rallies where only Bitcoin rallies, and I think that's what some people are preparing for. They're like a little bit, if you're underexposed with Bitcoin, I think there's a adjustment period right now, which is I think that's what everyone's touching upon right now. How about you? So you sold most of your altcoins?
Yeah. I mean, I got out. I mean, I think by and large, I expected the altcoins to kind of have more movement based on Bitcoin, but. To be honest, I mean, Bitcoin had, percent movement wise more than a lot of altcoins. So I figured, now's the time for Bitcoin to shine. The real question is, how long will this bull market last? And will the recoil be, as significant as 2017?
Yeah, and I'm just reading the comments. There's John's hot. Congrats, man. Most handsome. I love your profile picture too. There was one where like you're thinking like this.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm trying out the stash for a little while. Probably end at the end of November.
I mean, you're lucky you can grow a stash. Like for me, it's really hard.
Yeah. Like this is about 2 weeks, so imagine in a month it'll thicken up a little bit.
Really? Yeah. That's only 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I think I don't know, like for me, like I just can't. I go 2 weeks and I'm just like it looks dirty, like not like it doesn't look shapened, anyways. We got cars. You can't remove crypto from PayPal, only spend it. There's talk, right? Because once they integrate it, they're talking about custody solutions and all that. But I think the step is the most important one where, they tell us they're going to do it. And then later on, I can for sure expect some form of either self-custody or PayPal custody in the future. Because, I feel like the way to look at this is that PayPal, they spend a lot of money making these features too, right? They don't just go out and add features for no particular reason, especially like because they're trying to simplify everything. So I feel like by taking this step and by taking this investment, they're preparing the groundworks for a tomorrow where there will be more Bitcoin exposure. I think that's pretty much it. How about on your side? Like, do you see more like traction? I mean, you saw you're managing GB here.
So I think, by and large, it's been a lot more kind of new users, but also like more institutional investors are moving in now, which is always a good sign, right? I think that it's becoming more mature. But also it's kind of a double-edged sword because, the bigger we get, the more likely that it is that, regulators step in and, we become kind of more of a traditional market.
Right. So you see a few. I mean, it's not as crazy in terms of retail then, right? I'm reading between the lines. I'm like, okay, so retail not as strong, right? In terms of kind of new people coming in and like.
I mean, I think 2 months ago, there was kind of a huge uptick in kind of new users, but then with, the kind of bust of DeFi, people kind of seem a little bit more hesitant. But I think, a good sign is that I think there's an all-time high for small balance Bitcoin wallets. So that's always a good thing, right? Because it means that there's more kind of average Joes out there that are starting to adopt Bitcoin and starting to kind of see what we see, right?
Yeah, I think so too. And I think like for some reason retail when they come like fat. Like I still remember 2017 when they're like, they talk about lines outside of Genesis block in the morning waiting for you guys to open, just carrying barrels of cash outside. And I was like, I want to take a picture, but we're like, we shouldn't share this because that would be an invitation to rob people. That wouldn't be very smart. But yeah, there was like literally people like lining outside. So this is a situation where it's like we're still at the area. I think it's still a lot of the older players and the institutional investors, but retail is still a little bit scared, and that's kind of expected.
Well, I mean, I think that's also kind of part of the climate right now. I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty with like the elections coming up and kind of the economy not being so strong because of COVID. So there's a lot of factors at play, but I think the bull run is coming, if not already here. But we don't have lines around the block like back in 2017. I mean, we literally sold out of Bitcoin sometimes. We're like, sorry guys, we don't have any more at the moment. So I mean, we're expecting something similar. I mean, everything points to a similar kind of bull run like in 2017, but it's just a matter of when it happens and how long it'll last, right?
And I think we'll do a shameless show since like GB is here. So one of the reasons why I kind of really like this place is like obviously because they're the nicest people around. The whole idea of a Bitcoin center is really cool. So just since I'm using this space, I help them show a little bit. So basically, you can buy trade Bitcoin here. You can learn how to trade Bitcoin here, and I'm personally seeing you guys teach people how to use wallets, etc., and get them set up. So if you guys are in Hong Kong, come check it out. You can hang out. Now with social distancing, a little bit more relaxed. It's a little bit easier. And also, if you guys want to trade sums of crypto without huge amount of fees, I use these guys all the time. You guys probably know we're super close. So yeah, show for Genesis Block. Check out Genesis Block Hong Kong. John's here. He'll personally.
I mean, we're doing more and more events as well. We're doing something on Lightning and Bitcoin Wallet soon. But yeah, we are very much so focused on the education side of things.
Yeah, and I'm also helping them creating educational content. I think that's like the kind of the core here. It's not just being able to trade, but being able to kind of teach people so they don't make the same mistakes that we kind of did. Like I think everyone who's been in crypto has been through some rough stuff, right? There are patches when people lose money, but luckily for us it's been pretty good, so that's good. Okay, so we'll answer questions along the way as well. I'll put this up. I'll bring this up. So recently, kind of the other big push, right? So towards DeFi is how messed up centralized finance is. So yet again, this morning on the way here, I was like trying to remember the figures for the biggest scandal that Goldman Sachs just admitted to, which is IMDb. So one MDB, one Malaysia Development Berhad. I keep thinking like bond, but it's not. It's a Berhad or Berhad.
I can't remember, something like that.
Yeah. So let's take a Goldman Sachs. It's like the biggest news, billions of dollars, right? So not just like in Hong. So I'll put this here so you guys can see this on my screen right here. Boom, pop that over. So it was pretty brutal. This is like an international scandal, and Goldman was like they literally admitted to a massive corruption case. So they settled with quite a few people. So this is a news section. So yes, Hong Kong, they slapped a fine, and Goldman pleaded guilty. The Department of Justice recently did that to as well. The Malaysian government did that as well. So it's like, yeah, like they are pretty darn guilty. No, I can't have the Financial Times one. So let's see. Let's see what business. Actually, no. This is not the one. pay more. Okay, well, we'll get the CNBC one, why not? So this is the article. So overall, it's 2.9 billion to different regulators, but the figures depends on where you are at. But typically speaking, it was pretty disastrous. So I kind of read up on this, right? So what did they do? First of all, they helped sell these bonds and collected money from different groups of people. And then they also help funnel that money out. So the people who were corrupt, they wanted to take money from that little basket of funds. They just say, yeah, sure, we'll help you. We'll help you buy a super mega yacht in Bali, no problem. Yeah, you want to buy an acrylic piano? I mean, who buys that stuff? We don't really judge, but we'll help you buy it. So they just used basically the public's money and then started just helping all these corrupt officials to buy stuff up, right? This is so broken, it's not even funny. So I'm like, this is ludicrous, right? Someone should go to jail, but no one went to jail. It's a situation where you're just like, oh, it's some broke employees, like Goldman was like, yeah, it's some rogue employees. We don't really care. It's just disgusting.
Well, I mean, it's ironic too, because they had that paper about Bitcoin that came out recently where they just slammed it. They're like, well, people use it for money laundering. It's like, really?
I think it's kind of disgusting. And I think after this whole DeFi wave, something that we learned, right? And this is why DeFi has feet. It's because this is 100% preventable, right? If you want to issue some assets on the blockchain, now, what might not be good for Bitcoin, which is the tracking element here, but it's very, very good for fund management to see where funds go. So it could be transparent. You can absolutely issue out bonds and assets on the blockchain. It's just a matter of regulation right now, but the technology is there, and it can also allow faster trading. I think all these tools in DeFi are building up to this, right?
Yeah.
If you want to start selling your bonds, sure, if you can have agents to sell it, or you can just list it on Bounce, right? Like list it on Bounce, there's a million options. You can have Dutch auction, English auction, whatever type of auction you want, right? So there's so many tools now that crypto people use, but the traditional finance system hasn't been using. But I feel like, first of all, everything that Goldman Sachs does in this case can be replaced by crypto. And then on top of that, it's much more transparent, so you can catch people out when they actually do something. Now, it's going to be probably in the future a mixture of transparent and non-transparent. Maybe like some rich people don't want to have their identities revealed when they're buying bonds. This is why you use private blockchains. Like I was talking to OKEx recently, and they're building out private blockchains where you can interact with a smart contract and get all that stuff done. And then, of course, you can put it on a non-transparent trackable blockchain. I think this is like 100% preventable.
Or I guess like something like Monero, right?
Yeah, exactly. Monero's super scary though. Everyone associates Monero with the dark web, but think about it. If you want to buy funds, it's like that. And the scariest thing that I've heard is with the banking institutions as well, there's actually anonymous Swift accounts. This is like the golden grail of money laundering.
Yeah.
Where they can especially in Southeast Asia, if you're really, really rich and you can work your way up there, you can find bank accounts that have Swift. You can send Swift transactions without revealing who you are.
That seems a bit nefarious.
It's like literally just the privacy tracking mode, but in private banking. So yeah, it's like the financial world is so messed up. It's like you don't realize it's there. Like you don't realize these features and stuff is there, but yeah, it's pretty scary. So that's why I thought to just bring this up. This is, I think, one of the biggest motivators, and one of the reasons why I think DeFi has a lot of feet, right? Because all of this, I mean, if you just look at what they did, they're found guilty. They're paying regulators $2.9 billion. I was reading this up on Reddit as well, and people are like, "This is operational expense. This is expected. It's expected. We made more than that. It's fine."
I mean, it's pennies in the bucket to them, right?
Exactly, and. A few things as well. It's like how they definitely made money from this is, first of all, they made a huge killing. They took very high fees selling the bonds in the first place, and then also the extra services they provide to help those big guys, the big government guys to move money out. That's pretty expensive, right? So they definitely made a lot more then they're paying this fine. That's why they get in trouble all the time. And if you guys want to look more at it, search like HSBC scandal. There was one where they're working with the Mexican cartel. This list goes on. And I think this is one of the biggest opportunities, not just for crypto, but for the entire finance space, to get rid of all this corruption. So like once it's on the blockchain, once there's elements that are transparent on the blockchain, that does get rid of it. So I don't know. Any other takes on this, John?
No, I mean, I think you hit it on the nose. I think, the loser in this situation was the government, right?
Yeah, the people.
Yeah, the people lost.
The people
lost. I think that's pretty significant because it's, that could have done a lot of good, but instead the rich got richer.
Always. And it's just the worst, right? The rich always gets richer.
Right? Yeah.
And it's kind of sad. I don't know. You know quite a few rich people, right? Do they get richer?
I mean, yeah, they even lose differently, right? They all get golden parachutes when the boat sinks, they get the golden parachute, right?
That's true. And I think this is something I noticed as well. Like, if you're more well off, they treat you a lot better. Like, I think this is I've seen this with my friends as well. They have their special clubs, and then they have insurance, everything. So everything's covered when shit goes down. Like, you might lose your jobs, but they're double insured, this is the worst part about life. So I guess this is one of the opportunities here in crypto where you see everything's more transparent, and it's not going to change the rich poor divide, but it's going to make it less towards the favor of the rich.
Well, I think this is...
So long as you're smart. Yeah.
But I think every generation has an opportunity to kind of lift yourself from one class into another, right? And I think that you don't necessarily need to be rich now to make riches off of cryptocurrencies, right? You just got to be a believer now, get in early enough to if and when Bitcoin does hit 100K, does hit $1 million, John McAfee.
John McAfee.
But if and when it does, you got in at such a threshold that by the time, truly rich people get in, it's not as profitable for them, but you're already part of the club, so you've already accumulated wealth.
I think so. And I think this is a situation where there are so many problems with the financial system as well, where Bitcoin just presents a difference to that, right? Where it's a lot, you can't print it out of nowhere. We're starting to feel the effects of that. We've been always talking about another stimulus package, right? So I think that's the biggest difference. How about we got Definity says perfect excuse for cashless trackable society. But I think everyone's talking about trackable here, but the kind of interesting developments in crypto has always been around privacy. So we just saw short signatures being implemented, or not implemented. The correct word to be finished developing on Bitcoin, implementation pending. And then we have privacy-preserving smart contracts or privacy coins. We have Monero, Zcash, Zcoin, whatnot. So it really does matter here, I think. That's the situation. So how about life in Hong Kong, John?
What do you mean right now? I think, things are kind of normal-ish. I mean, it's, we have less restrictions now. You can meet up in bigger groups and things that. But
finally, that's why we can do this without masks on. Finally.
Yeah. But I think everyone's getting a little bit stir crazy because you can't. I mean, Hong Kong's not the biggest of places, and most people who live here are used to traveling at least once a month, if not every other month. And now it's hopefully that bubble between here and Singapore opens up soon.
But I heard so there's this talk, right? So I'm not sure where you guys are at. So in Hong Kong, there might be travel to Singapore soon, where it's a cooperation bubble. But I heard that you have to do at least 4 tests that cost around $600 for 4 tests. So maybe we'll have to see. How about when you talk to your friends about Bitcoin? Do they still look at you funny? And are you are the weirdo guy?
I think a lot of my friends are from traditional finance, so they do have some general grasp of Bitcoin. But I think that more and more so people are starting to take it seriously, whereas before it was kind of the at the kids table, right? It's well, we do traditional finance, and you're at the kids table over there at cryptos. Whereas now it's we're getting closer and closer every day to $1 trillion industry, right? And I think once that hits, then we can no longer be kind of seen at the kids' table. Then we sit at kind of
And it's kind of weird too, right? Because anyone who's touched crypto that's also in the traditional finance space immediately jumps to crypto. I've seen this with the PwC guys. So there's a lot of accountants here. There's a lot of bankers here. But anyone who's in a crypto division is heavily invested. That's a secret. Okay, I'm not supposed to tell people, but they're also heavily into crypto because they kind of see the possibilities here. I think that's the big issue as well. I think this year all of a sudden like I feel like there's like it's starting to have the momentum shift where there's people starting to understand it. Like last week I was in a meeting yet again, don't want to disclose what people are, but there's older people there, right? People with a lot more money, right? There's these people that have a lot of more money. They've been investing in real estate and property for a long period of time, but they are very, very concerned and scared about crypto. So I feel like that's still the case. And there's still a lot of reason. I think it's not unreasonable. Every time someone tells me that, I'm like, okay, if that's not your risk profile, fine, that's okay. I think that totally respect that. I don't want to force it onto people. But at the same time, I think they need to start realizing that yes, crypto is very volatile in terms of price, but so is everything else, right? And having a little bit of exposure isn't bad. And I think that's kind of the way it's going right now. Like you see the big institutions, the very early ones made a lot of money, right? So the early crypto funds, they are all really, really wealthy. They got their 100x already. They're out, or at least they can start relaxing. Then you see the newer funds coming in. They're buying Bitcoin. They're just increasing their exposure slightly. But there's a lot of funds that are like, oh, we don't want to have any exposure whatsoever because they don't understand it enough. But I think like that's starting to change a little bit this year. I
think you gotta have thick skin to be in cryptos, right? The volatility is just unlike the traditional financial world, right? Where people just kind of see how much it can go up and down, and it's just like, oh, I don't have the stomach for this.
I think so too.
But I do think that there's, this season is kind of like the DeFi season, which basically emulates, the ICO kind of season of 2017. But I mean, by and large, the technologies and the kind of the products that people are deploying now are they actually have some.
I think so, but do you think it was too fast, too furious? Like,
I mean, it definitely seemed like every week there's just some new thing that's doing something else.
We're good. We're back. We're back, guys. We're back. We're out of focus, but we're back. All right. So we're like the little blurry ghosts.
But at least Bitcoin's in focus.
All right. Bitcoin's in focus. That's right. Okay. Thanks so much. So I think like when you see ads like that, it always scares me because like when yield farming projects make so much money that they can't afford ads, that's when where are they getting the money from, right? Like are it's still right now at this current point, yield farming doesn't generate as much money as before. So like, if they're affording ads, they must be taking money from some people, and that's the dumb speculators. Like you don't want to like that's for me, right? Like not to be.
Well, I mean, the sad thing is you've also seen, well, at least we've seen at Genesis Block some projects that really do have a good team. They really do have a good product. But when it came to kind of deploying, they made some mistakes. And now like people just assume that it's another one of these kind of rug pull projects and they pull away when in reality, the product that they already have kind of use cases for it, they're growing, but there's just so much noise from these other hype projects that it takes away from very legitimate projects that have a good team, good technology, but they just, they don't have enough hype, right?
Yeah. And also the evaluation's a little bit, I think it's like, evaluation, it's so weird, right? It's so hard to evaluate what is the value of these projects in this token ecosystem, right? And I feel like that's the biggest struggle with DeFi where, there was a trend of like, finding gems. You find the gem, you buy the gem, it goes up 3x, you cash out, right? That was what the kind of the gameplay was like. But the problem is like, how many gems can there be in a small period of time, right? How many, genius, savant, traders there are that can create products that are...
Well, I also think, once the next stimulus package comes out, we'll probably see another bump in these kind of like altcoin projects, right? But yeah, I mean, it's tough to really kind of identify which, hype project actually has legitimacy behind it. But I think like use cases, right? I think for us, when we look at projects, we try and see, how it's been used before and what is like, if they don't have a use case, what is the partnerships they have lined up and like, how can they actually deploy this technology properly?
That's hard. And I think it still takes a long time. And I think this is something that I'm working towards as well. We're just understanding the tech a lot better, going back to coding. And actually, like, surprisingly, crypto programming is not that hard. It's actually like just a few lines. Okay, I think we're cut off. Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry, guys. So thanks for the team for helping us fix some stuff. So calling it some attention. So we, John's team is pretty amazing, I would say.
They're great.
But yeah, so I think they're trying to fix the camera. It's all good? It's too hot. It's we're too hot for this, John. You gotta cool down. You gotta calm down a little bit, man. You gotta calm down. I think that's not fixable though, right? I think you just have to disable recording.
Just leave it.
Yeah, it should be fine.
Yeah. Just don't record it, but I think they have to hit the button once in a while or something like that. So we're streaming with this is John's Canon R5.
Yeah, we got new toys recently, so we're still in the process of perfecting how to use them.
So John has Genesis Block has a lot of great toys. So this place is crazy. Also, you guys have a new server up, I heard, right?
We set up a Serum node. And I think we're putting out a video for one of our developers who basically put it together. It's a time lapse of him putting it together, and also explain kind of what goes into making a node and stuff like that. Yeah, because I heard you guys got some cool gear. They had like 2 RTX 3080s. Yeah. That was like super beast. So yeah, that's I don't know, my man. I'm like, I want one of those processors. I want one of those GPUs, but I'm like, I'm not ready to pay the premium for it yet. So like, I think I asked them, like, the first thing I asked them is how you got those 3080s, and then I think they paid like 50% more than the market price. That crypto money at work, right? Jesus, and they have like the better lights too. So like, they have like these cool lights over here. They have free drinks. I don't know, pretty much. We got Dark Infinity says, just don't look in his closet or you might find his favorite toy, the deflatable one. It's okay, John's handsome. He doesn't need deflatable ones. He got real ones. All right. Celsius is best for yield farming. Actually, like the DeFi CeFi products are getting some traction. And just shout outs also to first off, Celsius, also for Swissborg. Swissborg, they recently launched a DeFi yield farming product as well, and they're a great way to integrate. If you want to buy and sell crypto, that's another one. And then the other shout out I want to make is to Utrust. So they're going to have some competition ahead of them, but they also are opening up for spending crypto. So Utrust are usually for merchants to accept crypto, but now they're opening up their card to take crypto. So to take crypto and spend it in real life. So I'm looking forward to that. That's kind of one. All right. Okay, so we'll do questions and answers, John. So I think we're free to talk about anything. I mean, recently, did you catch on to this whole NFT thing? I mean, that seems to be the trend lately. And we recently did a collaboration with local artists. And we have a mural of Dorian Satoshi Nakamoto. I know that's not the real Satoshi Nakamoto, allegedly, but it's kind of one of the most identifiable images as far as like who's on kind of releasing these on the world's first DEX purely for NFTs. So that should be pretty interesting. We're also doing a collaboration with Bitcoin Association of Hong Kong. So we did the Bitcoin trams recently that are going around Hong Kong. We have an ad in front of HSBC, and we made kind of miniature models of them.
Oh,
right?
nice.
So people can have keepsakes. And
Oh shit! I want one.
So
Sign me
what
up. Sign
we're
me up.
doing
Sign me up. I'm
is-
down. I'm down.
So we're trying to create a use case for NFTs as well. So we'll probably mint like 10 of them or so, and you can auction on these, and they're completely redeemable for a real one. So this is kind of like pre-sale, right? Because we haven't actually set a price for them yet. So if you want to get one early, you have to go on to buy one as an NFT, and then you send it to Bitcoin Association of Hong Kong, and they'll mail you a real one.
Oh, nice! I want one of those trams. That's cool. That's my. I'm down. Where do you get those?
So it's not live yet, but we will. It'll be on Bonfida's new decks. Yeah.
I mean, okay. Here's my deal. Okay, so recently we saw this sudden interest in art. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to be an art critic right now. Everyone seems to be an artist. We have a million people selling very, very, I guess in crypto terms, it's not expensive, but I'm a cheap ass, so I feel like it's quite expensive. So all of a sudden, NFTs just start popping up, wearables, everyone's buying, selling NFTs, and all that stuff. Do you think you have a little bit of art background, right? Do you think this is too fast, too furious, or what's up?
I mean, it's tough to see because there aren't many use cases for NFT art as far as like having a real piece and kind of minting that as a real piece of art. I mean, for kind of blue chip art, a lot of times the exclusivity factor comes into play. So if I have a really, really nice piece, I don't want too many people to know that I'm selling it. Otherwise, it kind of depreciates the value of the piece from kind of, it's more of a mental perspective than anything. But these rich people who can afford these pieces, they want to, kind of know that they're the only one that have it, and the person that they're selling it to is the only one that knows that they sold it, right? Because I think also there's probably a point of pride where it's like, well, if I'm a really rich person, I don't want other people to know that I'm selling my art. So I think it's kind of two schools of thought. I mean, in my experience, it's more the former than the latter. But as far as like there are people, I mean, that's kind of where pop art comes into play, right? If I bought a Basquiat or I bought a Warhol, that's kind of more pop art that you would kind of want to show off that like, hey, I've got a Warhol, hey, I've got a Basquiat. But if you had like a Van Gogh or like a Picasso, that's something that kind of is a different kind of tier of collector.
So the ultra high tier, the Van Goghs, the ones that the super high named ones, they're more exclusive, and they don't want people knowing that this transfer happened. Okay, interesting.
Because provenance also comes into play, right? So who's owned it before you, who owns it after you. So for example, if I'm selling like a Basquiat for an A-list celebrity, that's going to be worth more than a piece that's owned by someone who's maybe like a business or someone that's not affluent or like well known, right? There's all kinds of variables that come into play. But I think as far as NFTs go, it's kind of difficult to really transfer art unless it's like, okay, you had some sort of deal where I'm a gallery and I'm minting NFTs. Yes, you could take that NFT and come to my gallery and pick up the piece, but the issue is that if you mint an NFT and then someone has possession of the art, you have to keep track of like condition reports. Is it being kept up? If you put it in your house and you don't take care of it, that could depreciate the value of the piece just because it's not being taken care of, right? Yep. So there's variables like that I don't think NFTs can really address as of yet. But I do think that there's something to be said about the use case for like minting like if you were an artist and say, I'm credible, people trust me, and I'm saying that, hey, every time I make like a GIF or an NFT and I put this on a DEX for NFTs or what have you, I'm not going to distribute this anywhere else. Then I think that creates like exclusivity that would kind of drive more value.
But my biggest concern, right, is that rich clients don't care about digital art. I feel like that's the biggest problem. So there's two solutions that people have come up, right? So people have come up with NFT that represents physical art. Like this is the representation, but like you said, you need to put the reports of the condition and et cetera, et cetera. So it's still not a full representation, right?
But I think so. That being said, I think going to your point of people wanting others to know that they own a piece, I'm sure that there's like a range of art pieces that are probably in like the Warhol Basquiat range that you could basically have a gallery that says, hey, you own this piece, but if it leaves the gallery, like the NFT value it depreciates somewhere. You need some sort of smart contract.
How about Freeports? Have you been inside a Freeport?
I have not, no. But I know.
You lost all credibility there. You lost all credibility there. Because I watched 10 and I'm like, oh, this Freeport is so cool, right? Like I've heard about these things, but I'm not rich enough to go into one of them.
This is just my personal opinion, but I think in a lot of cases, people who find pieces of art at Freeports, either A, they're like trying to sell it, or B, it's literally a store of value for them.
Yeah,
So that they're like, okay, this is a place where I can guarantee that the condition is going to be maintained.
Yeah.
And it's like, tax-free,
Yeah.
and it's, relatively low maintenance, right? If I had property, there's maintenance fees that go into that. Yeah. But if I wanted something that's small and portable, that's going to retain value, I'll buy a Picasso, keep it at a free port.
I think so. And I think that's the craziest part about rich people is that free port, right? And like, there's like multiple, and I heard like there's secret bunkers in Hong Kong airport that has like bars of gold, either bars of gold or clean film wrapped US dollars. So like rich people can just fly on their private jets, take the money and just go.
I mean, no
That's
capital
crazy.
controls in Hong Kong, right?
Yeah.
So it's completely legal for you to walk around with like barrels of money, like completely legal. I mean, what's the capital controls in the US is what, like $5,000 you're allowed to have on your person. Otherwise, it's a felony.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
For normal people, but for rich people, it's different. That's that Hong Kong per se. You land into international region of Hong Kong, not entering that little gray area where there's a gigantic building to store your stuff, right? So I think in the US there's some like
yeah, the US. I mean, I know there's some in in Switzerland. I mean, they have pockets of these all over. Sometimes it's literally just like a warehouse, and then it's like you're on sovereign soil somehow.
Magic, right? Magic. So I think like there's still that area where like very very wealthy people, they will have access to these facilities, and they'll still go the original way. I think for like crypto art, it's not there yet. It's not like, I mean, it's the ultimate free port, right? It's the ultimate free port in crypto, but I think it's the rich people just aren't there yet.
Well, I think like people just haven't figured out like the logistics of how you actually, if you were to take a blue chip piece of art and turn that into an NFT, what are the logistics? What are the rules for how that maintains its value or how it appreciates in value? Because if you have the piece itself, the hard piece in a facility where its condition will be maintained and you can guarantee that it's always going to be taken care of, then I think it becomes viable, right? Because then you have this like coupon that says, hey, I actually own this piece, and there's a smart contract in place. So if you sell that NFT, the person who buys it, they want to put it in their house. Imagine they can do it, right?
Hey, imagine like a free port where you just like it takes an NFT, like you put your NFT and it delivers right your art right in front of you.
It very well could be, right? It's possible.
Like, and then you can only observe it, but you can't take it out because of the free port. Otherwise, you got to pay tax on it.
But I mean, going back to your point of like some people just want to show off that they have it. You could have like a museum that's like, okay, this person, it's like like a plate that says I own the piece. I can never take it out of this place, but I technically own it, right?
But okay, this is the other thing, right? Like the VR experience on that is really great. Like I've been through these generations of kind of VR and the early editions of VR, it made me like sick as hell, but now it's starting to get there. Okay,
did you play Half-Life Alyx yet?
Yes.
Yeah. Did that not change the way that you play a video game? Like just putting stuff in your loading the clip, and then if you actually hold your hand, it makes your aim steadier. I mean, I was taken back. I was like, you know what? I didn't know a game could I could interact with a video game like that.
Yeah, and it's so cool because like you have that motion, right? Taking it out, and I just fumbled just now. Like when I did the motion, I fumbled. You're not supposed to fumble. If you drop the
then you have to actually pick it up.
Yeah, you have to pick it up. Like you actually have to do a smooth motion. Put your okay, this people who don't play Half-Life Alyx don't understand this, but you have to take your ammunition from your backpack. You have your gun right here. Stick your ammo into your gun. It clips in, and then you have to load your gun, right? But like if you fumble, if you just drop your weapon, it's like it's over, right?
I mean, I like the whole kind of like you kind of point at something and you kind of have to catch it. So if you want to clip, you have to like aim it, get it, and then catch it, put it in your backpack.
It's different. It makes it so much more immersive, but I get hella sick.
Yeah, 30 minutes at a time.
Not just like I played for an hour, dude. I did this yesterday. This is why like part of the reason why I'm not online or making videos as much, because I get like super sick and then I have to just like lie down for like 3 hours. I'm like, worth it. 1 hour of game time, 3 hours of recovery time where you can't do shit. Like worth. So that's pretty much it. So I still feel like we're getting there, but it's not.
Well, I mean, what's interesting to me is that I've seen a lot of blockchain games lately. So we recently did a collaboration with Rev, who has the F1. I mean,
we talked to Rev.
And then there's another one where it's kind of like a virtual casino.
Okay. Yeah.
So I mean, and so it's interesting to see kind of how things will play out as far as like the potential for blockchain and video games, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think like Maybe, all right, maybe, but like. All right, so for me, I still have to, like, I think I'm going to quit VR next week because it's just too detrimental on my life, right? It's been fun. Let me finish Alex. I'm just going to quit it because I can no longer afford my time to play it. But I can see maybe like 5 years, right? Because there was a quantum leap between, I had the first Oculus Rift, and then I have, the middle ground, the Gear VR and all that middle ground stuff. And then coming to the Quest 2, you see that huge jump. So maybe in a few years, VR is going to get there. But VR plus blockchain, who knows, right?
Yeah.
I think this is another situation where you have a small audience that plays VR. Then you have another smaller audience that's blockchain. So you're like, your world will be populated with literally 100 folks. Like, yeah, basically, like if you guys want to meet us in VR, we'll do that next time. I actually
That would
have
be interesting, a VR meetup.
maybe I actually have a VR camera. I have a stereo, like a stereoscopic 360-degree VR camera. So
That's pretty cool.
We can actually do
That's
that. We'll
pretty
be
cool.
all in our like things, and then we'll be like meet up in this virtual place and have some whiskey. What's the whiskeys in the back? People kept asking about the whiskeys.
So I mean, I keep the good stuff under my desk, but but we got some Chivas Regal and some Johnny Black Label.
So basically, this is for the normal folk, and if you're a special friend of John,
Macallan 18.
Yeah, you get the good stuff. Macallan 18.
Yeah.
You need something else though. Macallan's like.
Well, also Yamazaki is always good.
Oh, Yamazaki. Yeah. Respect. Now I respect you. You gotta have the good whiskeys. I have a penchant for Lagavulin nowadays. Like a super smoky, like I don't know. It's like my kind of thing. So yeah. So no blue label. We don't want crap whiskey. All right. Elitists. Whiskey elitists over here. All right. So we're coming up to the end of the stream. Do you anything else we want to cover? We should actually get Charles down here. Let me see if Charles is up there. Charles. To come down for a stream. I feel really bad. So just guys, if you guys don't know, the team's helping out. They're clicking a button once in a while so the camera doesn't go into suspend mode. So thank you guys. Just big shout outs. Thank you guys in the back there. So Cryptogram is like box mining whiskey review channel. I should do we should do that sometime.
So there's a Japanese whiskey bar nearby. We should do like a stream where you just go. So apparently you can buy like a set where you try 12 different kinds of Japanese whiskey.
Oh, nice.
So we can do a crypto whiskey review session.
Yeah, I have all those like the Suntory stuff, like Yamazakis and stuff. But I don't.
Hibiki's good as well.
Hibiki's good, but I don't have the old stuff. Like I only have like the very commercial grade ones. I don't have like the exclusive, back of the cabinet under the desk sort of whiskeys. I'm not there yet. So John NFT Art Michael, I think so. He's putting it up. We should have a link on this sometime. I mean,
if it's still in its beta, so we can't share the link for the decks yet. But there is an NFT. So actually, the platform. So we created a GIF for our node, right? Because those graphic cards have a little screen in it. So we wanted to put our own GIF inside of it instead of the original one it came with. But so somehow someone from the Serum team got a hold of it and they minted that into an NFT. So it was kind of funny. I saw that. I was like, that's ours, right? So
they stole your stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's okay. We're happy to support the network, but they've also been very kind in like giving us kind of helping us mint new NFTs and working on this project with the AHK as well.
Nice.
But I think the NFT for the tram should be. I think we've already minted it, but we just need to kind of figure out when we'll actually deploy the DEX or where we'll actually make that purchasable. Because it might be on Bonfinder's platform as is, just so that we can kind of get ahead of when the orders come in about 2 weeks.
How much would that cost? Is it over?
So I can't tell you. So this is kind of why we want to kind of create a use case. So this is the pre-sale, right? So you guys will kind of auction for these and kind of help us determine what the
don't share the link, guys. Don't share the links. I don't want anyone buying that and pumping up the price. That's no, guys. I don't want to pay crypto money for a normal object. Like crypto premium is too high, man. I'm too cheap for that. I'm too cheap. So all right. So we have some comments about whiskey. So Lagavulin, Willie Pieces, Lagavulin's too peaty for me. It's very peaty. It's very smoky, but it's very smooth.
Yeah, I mean, I personally prefer less smoky, but on the right occasion, it's nice with cigars. I mean, I've been getting into. There's like a nice cigar. Small spot in like Central. It's like tucked away, like old school furniture. I've been going there.
That's when you know John's rich. It's like, yep, all right, I just go to some cigar place, smoke $300 cigar or something like that. Like that's.
Oh, I've got quite the collection of cigars going.
Not. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Sure, we gotta. It's one thing I haven't got into yet. Like I got into a little bit of the shisha stuff, but never into cigars that much. It's like.
I mean, it's an acquired taste for sure, but I think especially when they're aged a little bit, they get a little bit sweeter. Great with Scotch. I mean.
All right, I'll be an old man someday, just like smoking whiskey. That's the crypto dream, right? Crypto life. Okay.
Box mining NFTs.
We got Peter Alders. Yeah, my plan is become a millionaire accumulating box mining NFTs.
So they'll be able to put them up for auction on this platform when it goes live.
Well, the crazy thing, right? Like I have to show this, right? I've been supporting, I've been holding and supporting Engine for a long time, right? Because they actually have the tech. Some people got really angry at me. They're like, box mining, you're hating on NFTs, and now you have your own NFTs. First of all, I issued out my NFTs all the way in 2019, and you can track that on a blockchain, and people are trading that. Second of all my NFTs I've given away for free, apart from like 3 that I put on the auction, like the Engine Marketplace to sell. But the Engine Marketplace was built way before this. Like before wearables even became popular, there was the Engine NFT. So I'm going back in time. Like these guys were a little bit too early. That's the problem of Engine. They're like a little bit too early for this whole art thing. So like, yes, there's a marketplace for this. And yes, you can actually, like, the NFTs I give for free on this channel, you can actually sell that for money. And apparently people have been making a killing off that. So, that's an alpha leak right there. But yeah, so I can do that. My NFTs are here. I might do some more wearables because like that's a hot thing.
And just to go back to the gift that we'd made, so production cost for that gift was about 250 Hong Kong dollars. The current bid on the Bonfidus platform is 90 serum. So they didn't pay for it either, but had we been the ones who would have put that up on their platform, we would have easily about 4 or 5 extra money.
All right, dude.
So
I need to start making NFT art, man. I'm gonna learn how to art. I'm just gonna pay an artist or something like that. Do you know some good artists?
Yeah, a couple.
That'll be the best. That'll be the bar. So we'll be like making big boy pants or like. I don't know.
I mean, what we did is we literally just took a photo, turned it into a GIF, and took some photos and turned that into an NFT. More than anything, it's just kind of a gimmick to kind of like
low effort art.
Yeah, low effort art. Just take a photo.
Sorry to diss your stuff. I mean, I've been working in gaming, and gaming they do a lot of art, right? And a lot of that doesn't even see the light of day. And these artists, I still remember our 3D artists and animators. They would spend overnight, like if we're pushing for a game for a release and the animation's not perfect, it's clunky, they would like push it,
Plus it was very low effort. We were just like, we have this mural, people have spray painted that wall before, so before it gets destroyed, we'll mint them into NFTs so people can kind of own a little bit of history, right? And I think the plan is
That's actually a good story though. That's actually a good story. I'll give you that. That's a good story. Yeah, so anyways, I think that's cool. So so small altcoins. Yeah, so
Looks like he's getting triggered.
I got so triggered. Like someone was like, "Oh, why are you you were shitting on NFTs and now you're trading?" I'm like, dude, these NFTs are from like years ago. Like I was the first one there. Like, relax, calm down, okay? So, and I give them out for free. And I don't charge. I know it's okay.
Yeah, Michael doesn't follow the trends. He sets them.
No. I'm gonna go straight back into this one. I'm OG, but I'm the shameless. I'm gonna sell my NFT art for $100 a piece because.
Hey, why not go for 1,000? There's that. I saw Pompliano retweet this girl recently who is doing NFTs. Right, She sold one for 8,000 USD. And it's like a gift. I mean, given it's a very great piece of art, right? Digital art. It's got some, it's nice, but $8,000. I could copy that, download it and it's mine, right? Yeah. I mean, it's just
I don't know. It's beyond me. I don't know.
But I guess it's bragging rights, right? I don't actually own it because it's not in my wallet. And
I think this is like the bragging type of art. Like I'm rich enough to buy like a gift for $8,000.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of especially for Asians, right? We a lot of times will like kind of show off by buying people overly expensive things or like family dinners. That story, like that famous Chinese story about the 2 rich guys who made each other congee, and the way that they heated the congee takes a long time to cook, right? The fire they cooked it with was with money, right? Because it's like it's like that's our style, right? So I think that there's definitely a market for it.
Crazy rich Asians, guys. Let's just light the fire with $100 bills. Why not, right? I heard they're great for lighting fires. The special chemicals inside that make your congee taste extra good.
Yeah, it's.
So Willie P asks, can anyone drop by Genesis block and get a free beer anytime?
Yeah, I mean, you're more than welcome. Just ask for John, and I'll come out and have a beer with you.
John, like next week, John's gonna revoke this offer.
I'm just gonna be like wasted all the time at work. Like everyone's coming in for beers.
So find John. John's always here. And also there's an ATM there. I should guys show you guys around. You want to do that as a final part of this show?
Sure. We could try and go mobile. Could we unhook the camera and go mobile?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I guess the camera crew, do you want to say hi? All right, let's do it. Cool. I guess, do you want to clip it?
Sure.
You can show us around. So we have the bar here. I'm actually going to get a drink.
What would you like?
I don't know, dude. Do you have a Diet Coke still?
We should. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Do you want one?
I'm okay. Actually, I'll grab an iced tea.
That's why I'm here, guys. I'm here to enjoy the free drink. So we have the drinks up. And a film crew. Thank you, film crew. Awesome. Man, it's like you get really thirsty after like talking. So what else should we show them? So I'll guess I'll move the camera, and Johnny can show them around.
Sure. So here's our event space. Or help you with anything you need. We do a lot of events here pre-COVID, but undoubtedly now we can't really have events so much anymore. So we've kind of turned this into a recording studio, kind of where we shoot videos, educational videos, and stuff like that. But whenever we can really have events again, we'll clear this out and we do presentations and stuff like that. And we had a having party here. Yeah, and I guess.
I showed people the having party. That's pretty good. That's pretty fun. I'm actually holding this cable here because, cables.
It's precarious.
A little bit precarious.
Yeah.
It's good. All right. Anything else to show?
Yeah. We got the ATMs. So we have an ATM in the hallway, which is 24/7, and then we have a two-way ATM. So you can buy cryptos here, and then you can sell Bitcoin for cash. And then we have, that's pretty much it. And then our front area, right? Our reception area.
All right, say hi, people. All right, it's gone. They just all ran away. It's okay. All right, whatever. Hey, it's Charles.
Oh, Charles came.
Hey, Charles. Want to say hi?
This is live stream, right?
Yeah, it's live stream. We're showing the GB office to everyone.
Bitcoin is up.
Bitcoin's up. How's everything? Pass him.
Last time this happened, 13K was at the last peak earlier in the year, and then it went straight back down.
Yeah.
Like all this good news in the market, like PayPal and everything, it just feels like a trap.
It's a trap.
It's like, what if PayPal buys BitGo and then wrecks WBTC? You know what I mean? All these there's
I don't think they'll be that evil though. I mean, they invested in the infrastructure, right? My theory is like they spent so much money anyways. They have to go for long term, but they can't just scam everyone right now, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
But it's about these non-crypto companies taking control of crypto companies, and you have no idea how that's going to play out, right? But that's just one piece of news.
Maybe. How about China? Are you scared about China right now? Like that's what I wanted to ask you. Like, because the OKEx thing was not very good news last week. That's
So OKEx is everybody. So you can. It's funny, right? Like you can trade. You can do internal transfers for crypto on OKEx. So what people are doing is they move it to the P2P side. So they move the spot assets to P2P, and then they can do a P2P deal, send renminbi away from the exchange. They give up their crypto and they're selling at massive discounts. If you saw Justin Sun, he put out I'll buy up all your Tron. It was I'll give you two at par, whatever it trades on at other exchanges.
Oh, really?
They just buy it all up. Yeah.
Because he's confident.
Well, I mean, he's just rich from Tron anyway. So, China is
another beast, huh?
I mean, I think mostly the focus is on the U.S. right now and what they're going to do. Everyone's talking about central bank digital currencies now, CBDCs.
Yes. Because China did it, and then everyone else it's cool now.
And small countries like the Bahamas are they just use it to get attention. I think.
Yeah. It's okay. I mean, it's quite easy to issue one. You can issue an ERC20 asset. I'll teach you. It takes like 20 seconds. You can issue one, and
We
then
did do that for GB. Yeah.
yeah, GB digital currency make the news, right? Oh well. So I hope everyone goes. I'm holding the cable. So anyways, let's see if there's anything else here. It's a trap. Yeah, I think it might be a trap. Laggy or it's just me. It's also because like we're walking around. So anyways, I think that's around it. Thanks, Charles, for coming.
Thanks, guys.
All right, we're wrapping up the stream. Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks. We'll see you guys soon. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll try to do more.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, we'll try to get more people on as well. So see you guys soon. Cheers. Great stream.